On behalf of the ACC and the Sci Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to Archival Thinking, Artist Archive Symposium. Distinguished speakers from the fields of art, archives, and the humanities have been invited today to explore the contemporary significance and future potential of art archives. We hope that today's program will encourage and inspire a new generation of artists, archivists, and curious learners. And we hope that people will discover through these 3 sessions we've planned for you the power, the purpose, promise, and the pleasure of archival practice. We're particularly grateful to our sponsors, MoMA PS1, where we are situated today, and Maitreyi Kimura Foundation, whose support has made this event possible. I encourage all of you to stay the whole day to take advantage of the 3 sessions, then to join us for an award ceremony and a closing reception immediately following the 3rd session. Now, without further ado, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to today's curator of the symposium, Mr. Paul Holdengräber, for his remarks.
Probably some of you know that I'm a cultomaniac by profession, so naturally we begin with this. Edmund de Waal's epigraph "Here with amber eyes" goes like this. Even when one is no longer attached to things, it's still something to have been attached to them. Because it was always for reasons other people didn't grasp. Well, now that I'm a little too weary to live with other people, these old feelings, so personal and individual, that I had in the past, seem to me it's a mania of all collectors, very precious. I open my heart to myself like a sort of vitrine and examine one by one all those love affairs of which the world can know nothing. And of this collection, to which I'm now much more attached than to my others, I say to myself, rather as Mazarin said of his books, but in fact, without the least distress, that it will be very tiresome to have to leave it all. I'm sure all of you recognized Proust's Sodome et Gomorrah. I think it's a wonderful introduction to Edmund de Waal's book, and a wonderful introduction, I think, to what we'll be talking about today. 100 years ago, I wrote a dissertation about the figure of the collector, the Sammler, in Walter Benjamin, with the alluring, enticing title, which of course, like all dissertations, had a colon, Portrait of the Artist as Collector, Walter Benjamin and the Collector's Struggle Against Dispersion. Edmund de Waal's choice of epigraph, which I read years after bringing this work of art into the world, spoke to me directly and in more than one way can lead us elegantly into the subject at hand, archival thinking. Though still perplexed by my role here, I am thrilled to be here with such an extraordinary pool of talent, thinking about archival thinking. Why archives? Who loves them? Why assemble them, share them, even if we will, in the end, have to leave them? And it may be tiresome to leave them after such an effort to rescue these remnants from oblivion. As the curator of this symposium, it has been my joy to work with all the speakers to encourage them, I hope, to step in and out of their specializations and share with us why archives matter. As you know, the symposium also hopes to be generative and encourage young artists without hesitation to start their archives. I have to admit, am not an archivist. Nobody's perfect. I chat for a living and try best I can to bring out in all my subjects the best they've got. I've always loved this image of Adam Phillips, who says that when we speak to each other, things fall out of our pockets. So, I don't know about your pockets, mine are messy, and I will try to see what is in each one of my subjects' pockets. And my role here is to try with you to come up with some kind of an organized web of obsessions. People often say that I'm a moderator. I'm not particularly moderate. So I prefer the notion instigate, to instigate a conversation with all of you during this whole day. Before setting the symposium in motion, let me thank the wonderful team I have worked with over the past many months. And it's an abbreviated version. Actually, I was given 5 minutes. I've probably spoken for 8 already. I always remember the wonderful line of Pascal, who said, if I had had more time, I would have made it shorter. So I would love to thank the ACC, Judy Kim and her entire team, Thai Studio, and a few of the people who I've worked with. I've worked with many more: Erin Moss, Yu Chen Chen, Clara Leverance, Jennifer Yu Fi Ying, and of course, Tai Guo Chiang and Hong Kong Wu. Forgive my pronunciation. And last but not least, Mel Yiming Chu. I live my life somewhere between chaos and entropy, where the two meet, and somehow Mel has managed to keep me somewhat focused and to make sure that the symposium happens. So I really would like to thank her so very much. And now to present as Tai Guo Xiang's archives, I present to you, and with great